Modern gaming makes me sad, like super duper depressed. And I've made a lot of similar videos recently talking about more or less the same things, but like what else am I gonna talk about? Because everything just kind of seems to be the same lately. A lot of people are just quitting video games, and for good reason. Like, I'm gonna talk about a bunch of things in this video that make quitting video games seem like not even such a bad idea, not so irrational. Like, you ever noticed how everything is getting more and more overpriced, but at the same time games are seemingly getting more and more low effort? It's like a pattern. Like, the more and more overpriced things get, the more and more we get low effort slop. If there's actually any passion in the games besides greed and money, then I would actually have some sort of like respect. It doesn't make any sense to me, at least, to keep increasing the prices every couple of years just to get worse and worse games. It feels like a blatant scam in my eyes, and I don't really know what else to call it. Game developers back in the day had an idea that they wanted to give life to certain things and just make things that people could play on and connect with. Like, games were a way of really like connecting with people, but now if you try and connect with people, you'll get shadow banned by the AI lords by accident. Now all of the games that are made is seemingly just out of greed and hunger for money. It doesn't seem like there's any other reasons that games are being made these days. It seems to just be for the purpose of building on something else that was released at an earlier time, just for the sake of capitalizing on the fan base and capitalizing on the profits you can make. And it's extremely sad that this is what they feel the need to do. What's more, I find it even funnier that they charge more now, because games seem like they don't even work properly anymore. They just fucking don't work now. They never do. Whenever I push myself to play Modern Warfare 3, because there's no way I can bring myself to play that game sometimes, but whenever I do find the energy to play it, it's just pointless, because I'm like stuck in the menus waiting for shit to load for several hours, and it's just not fun. Like, the other day I was in a lobby with my friend and I searched for a match, and I was like sitting there, and the whole time, like in the lobby, I was just staring at the screen. Like, you know when you're in the lobby and you can see other people's names and you can see it says like match loading time and it's about to load into the match and everything like that? I was sitting there for nearly like 20 minutes, and my friend was like, yo dude, you're not in the game right now? And it was confusing to him because he was already playing. That entire time that I was sitting in there, he was already playing, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? Am I shadow banned or something? Like, not only do I not talk in game chat, but I don't use any cheats of any kind. So I'm convinced that the game is just utterly broken. I want any of you guys to let me know in the comments if you had this experience. Like, we even tried swapping so that he would host the match, and it'll just be like he will invite me and then he'll search for a match. But what ends up happening is it's just the same thing. We'll search for a match and then he'll be able to play, but I'll just be looking at the blank screen and sitting in the lobby the entire time. Sometimes it manages to get me into the lobby, but a lot of the time that's just what it does. And not only that, but also like when you're in the menus, things take forever to load. Like, you can't even see your gun properly when you first load into the match. Does that happen to anybody else? You just load into the match and you can't even see the gun you're holding in your hands until like 5 minutes in. It's so annoying. It's so cringe. And it's not like I have super high settings on either. I have the most normal, regular settings ever. Most of my options are turned to the lowest just so I can get the best FPS that I can. And shit like this still happens. Like, how hard is it to just make a working game? It seems like the more and more years go by and these games come out, the more likely it is that the chance of things like this will happen. And it's just so sad, because you'd think that as the years go by, issues and problems like this would get solved like a lot sooner, and they just wouldn't even happen in the first place. Because don't get me wrong, older games had bugs all the time, but these kind of issues that I'm experiencing in Modern Warfare 3 are completely new to me. They are so unfamiliar and just so alien to me that I'm like, how did they even let this happen? Isn't this supposed to be like the most new, like advanced AAA Call of Duty game, like technology wise? Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm paying more money just to have my game break and shit itself more often. My PC isn't the best, but it's not that bad. Like, I have no idea what could be causing this. Even Cold War back in the day was like the most poorly optimized COD of all time. They just did not make that game properly for PC or even any console. It just ran like shit, honestly. The crashing issues, I thought those stopped in the early days of Modern Warfare 3. Like the first couple of months of that game, I would be crashing like every single time I tried to play the game. And that stopped for like a month, and then after a couple of updates, I just went back to crashing every single time and just textures not loading in. Update requires restart, update requires restart, update requires restart, over and over and over again. That shit just makes me not want to play the game anymore. And that brings me to another thing with the update requires restart. Why does that always happen? And why is it that these Call of Duty games recently, maybe not even just Call of Duty, but mainly Call of Duty, all these games are like almost 200 gigabytes now? Like, what is taking up 200 gigabytes of space? I know it's not the game itself because the content is like barely there at all. I uninstalled the Modern Warfare campaign because obviously it's dog shit. The Modern Warfare 3 campaign, there's no way I'm gonna be replaying that, so I just decided I might as well not let it take up space. And it's still like 171 gigabytes. Like, what is that? My theory is that it's just all the fucking furry anime skins and fucking shop bundles that's taking up that much space that I'm forced to look at and forced to be advertised to. Like, I didn't ask to be shown all these furry anime skins. Like, every new week they add some cringe ass skin that nobody gives a fuck about, but still some weird ass people buy anyway, just because. I actually don't know sometimes. I really don't. I'm convinced there's more gigabytes worth of furry anime skins and shit like that than there is content they drip feed us over the year. Like, most of the space that's being taken up is just because of all those skins and all that bullshit that people just don't want to buy because it's way too expensive anyway. Like, come on. There is not 170 gigabytes worth of content. There just isn't. It's all the skins they flood into the store all the time that you don't even bother to play with or download. Like, why is there so many skins? And if you've looked at the store lately, they're all like above $20 or something like that. It's actually ridiculous. It's just a joke. But moving on to my next issue with gaming these days that makes it so depressing is how I used to play games like this to escape real world problems, and now everything just seems like it needs to be so politically correct and inclusive, and it's so obviously pandering and so boring. I don't know if any of you have heard about the recent NEI or whatever it's called, NDI. I don't even remember what the acronym for it is, but it's something like they're basically like flexing how inclusive they are at Activision and how much they do their diversity hires and stuff like that. And it's really sad. Like, if you've seen the documents and reports for it, it's so sad. It's like they don't even care about how the people who have been playing for years receive their game. All they care about is getting social credit points by hiring people who don't even know how to do the job right, and the only reason they're there is to make the company look good, when they know damn well they do not care about any of that politically correct, any of that inclusive shit. They just want to get brownie points with investors and shit, and brownie points with social media people, and they're just leaving to the wayside the things they should be caring about concerning their actual game, and just picking up stuff that nobody asked to be in the game. Like, if you're gonna make a game, hire people that can actually maintain the game properly and make good decisions for it and actually, like, you know, talented. But they would rather not do that. And that's why games like XDefiant are being made, which hopefully that's gonna be good, because I'm really tired of companies coming along and just screwing everybody over with their bullshit, and it's so tiring. It's so exhausting, man. But moving on, one of the worst things today is that the cheating problem has gone way too far. Like, actually, it almost makes Call of Duty and other like FPSs just unplayable, because you never really know who's cheating. Even back in the day, like, you could barely tell who was cheating and who was not, because there was really good ways to hide if you were cheating or not, and there's even better ways to do that now. And what's even more sad is that back in the day, if you were exposed for cheating or something like that, or you were banned, you know, it was like over for you. Like, you were officially cooked. Like, your gaming career or your reputation was just over. But now it's basically back to business as usual, like a couple weeks later after you're exposed. Cheating not only has no consequence because Activision doesn't really like do anything real about it. Yeah, they permanently ban people sometimes, but they know damn well they can just make a new account. They know these cheating streamers can just buy a new account or something like that, unlock tool a fresh account. They know that, and even the people that are watching them, they don't care. They will, like, these simps will just watch somebody and they will like pretty much know they're cheating or have a good idea, sort of suspect that this certain person or this streamer is cheating in some way, whether it's two-boxing or wall hacks or whatever. Like, they will know that or be suspicious, but they just won't care. They will still support them anyway. And it's just so sad. I understand the people who are like, I want a two-box because SBMM is dog shit and it's trash and it makes the game so much harder and it's not fun and it ruins the experience. That's true, but still, even in that case, if I catch somebody two-boxing, I literally lose all respect for them. If I know somebody that two-boxes or reverse boosts or something like that, I just have no respect for all that. As bad as SBMM is, mainly because the noobs that you're basically dunking on in the two-boxing lobbies, it's nothing like having a regular non-SBMM lobby. Because in a regular lobby with no SBMM, you'll get like a mixture of those. But what these YouTubers and what these streamers do is when they two-box, they get into lobbies just filled with noobs and bots and completely like people that need help to play the game, you know what I mean? And it's like, it is SBMM's fault because that's how the system works. It groups these people together because it wants them to have an easier time. It wants to hold their hand. But then when these streamers get in there, all they're doing is beating up on noobs and all that. Sure, it's fun to beat up on noobs, but I would rather have like a natural, organic, like non-SBMM lobby with a variety, like a mix of players, than just two-boxing and reverse boosting my way into the easiest lobbies known to man. Like, that just seems like the least fun thing ever to me. Like, that's just not a fun thing to do at all. And you see them making content on this kind of thing every day and dropping nukes and all that, and people will still watch their videos and leave a like and subscribe even though they know they're beating up on people who can barely play the game at all. And it's just so depressing to watch because you can be as good as you want, but if you start doing that shit, then it's just like you just suck, in my opinion. But yeah, I have a feeling until maybe SBMM goes away, people just are not gonna stop doing that, which is unfortunate. But it is hard to fully blame them because SBMM, the way it works, the engagement optimized matchmaking, I guess, it makes playing Call of Duty feel like a chore. It feels like a full-time job to just sit down and sweat every day. It's almost like you can't have genuine fun unless you're cheating in some way. It's impossible. You cannot have genuine fun unless the SBMM algorithm throws you a bone and gives you an easier match, or you're cheating in some way or some form. Because there are several ways to cheat. Just because someone says cheating doesn't necessarily mean it's like aimbot or something, or walls or something. It could be the most subtle, under the radar things that you would never even guess is giving like a huge advantage. Just like the audio boost thing that a lot of streamers are doing, where you'll click on these streamers' lives and you'll hear their game and it'll be like elephants stomping around the whole room everywhere. A lot of these streamers I'm watching now, like, I've never heard footsteps that loud whenever I'm playing a match. Footsteps are never that loud for me, and that's how I know they're using that audio enhancement thing. That, in my eyes, is pretty much also another way of cheating, because you can just hear everyone at every time through the walls. You have like super fucking dolphin sonar or some shit. It's crazy. You can actually hear the tiniest things, and that's just not how I'm used to playing. But these guys, they use it to basically hear through walls. Like, it's borderline almost as good as walling anyway. The second I click on somebody's stream and I hear the footsteps like stomping around them through the walls, I'm clicking off the stream because I know exactly what that motherfucker's doing. But at the end of the day, most of it just comes down to SBMM making it almost impossible to have fun, and it's unfair and it's sad. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video right here because I've been yapping for way too long. I got a little passion in this video because I've just been thinking about a lot of these things lately, and it's just gotten on my nerves, man. It just doesn't seem like gaming is heading in a good place, and I know I'm mostly talking about Call of Duty in this video, but the things that I'm saying do mostly apply to a lot of the games that people are currently playing, like greedy companies and just scummy tactics and cheating players. Like, that goes for a lot more than just Call of Duty, but it is mainly this game we're covering here. So I have a feeling this shit's not gonna change anytime soon, but I'm really hoping it does, so I can finally have fun playing Call of Duty again. That would be great, wouldn't it? But anyway, please leave a like on this video. Tell me what you think in the comments, share your opinions. Yeah, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace. Uh-oh. Let me hit this clip. Oh shit, get fucked.